Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh, yes! At last you finally brought it out to the open. There's a head put on a piece of cloth.
Your Honor, the prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis.
Now we got it recovered.
This handprint on the leather. There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly.
Hmm? You mean?
It could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence.
Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas, bitch. You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. That's what she said.
What?
Think about it. Wright had this all this time to present his evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be?
You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that?
Mr. Wright, do you really know?
Do you really know, Mr. Wright? Oh, whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well. I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person whose fingerprints belong to are... Mike Meekins. No, that was okay. Emma? Emma Sky?
What? They're mine?
I'm sorry, Emma.
But why? Why didn't you tell me?
Oh ho ho ho! You're really something, Righto. You knew this girl did it all along, yet you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic? Maybe even sad, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death.
How could you? You monster!
It's like a blue demon. I rest my case. Miss Sky!
You knew whose fingerprints those were all on, yet you acted like she really didn't.
Miss Sky, it's not over yet.
What?
I said this trial isn't over yet! Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career, too. He's hitting us where it hurts. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy, and add it to my collection.
And become a defense attorney.
Damon Gant, Ace Attorney, coming to theaters this fall.
Going to Xbox One.
That way he would have
Xbox
control.
One.
That way he would have control over defendant lawyers as well now.
Play better with Connect. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue?
Yeah.
Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up.
Let me bring in a surprise witness.
Oh, and Larry Butts. And what's that?
No, Mia Fey.
Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Miss Sky, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool blabbing about? Babbling Brook about. I thought I said blabbing. I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is.
Order.
Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth. What could it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Whoa! Behold, the piece of evidence that contains that contradicts this cloth. The picture. Remember, it says that it's bloody. As I mentioned that. Take that. And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it.
Now it feels like we're in a radio drama.
Isn't it beautiful? See where the piece of cloth, the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes. His shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest was soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Whoa! What's that? Piece of cloth. Wait. There's no blood on it. Ah! Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on that sword! No! This is nonsense! Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside.
He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out.
If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Sky, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armored sword?
Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. Then he broke the jar on purpose to leave behind a clue and make Lana believe her sister did it.
Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this pointless piece from the victim's vest? Ooh, we trapped him in his trap. Ironic, isn't it? Though the very act of creating assurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. It's finished.
What about Goodman?
He's dead. Who's objecting? Whoa. Look at him. He looks all sad now.
Now he's crying a swimming pool.
No, he's sweating.
Yeah, it's
He's
what.
sweating a swimming pool.
I have to like do my hair down. His hair's like flopping down. Oh! That was close, right, though. Oh, you almost had me. What the hell was that? Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean, you refute? Rafute? What's a rafute? I don't know what that word means. It's allegations. You see, the piece of cloth is illegal evidence. Holy crap, this freaking case is like dramatic. Order! Order! What nonsense is this?
What nonsense.
Even the judge's like, what the frick is this supposed to be?
And yet he's the one that says, "Oh, I know you have the last piece of evidence."
Yeah.
Illegal evidence. Oh, illegal evidence cannot be used to convict the suspect. Remember, Aji? Earlier, Wrighto here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Wrighto? You have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time.
But he said, I can present at this point. He didn't
Well,
say
that's
at all.
true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, the piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence.
But that's not fair.
I know, right? Who did you actually think you could best be in court? That's my favorite game, court. It looks like the last laugh's on you, son. Whoa, what the hell's going on? I'm confused. I'm afraid Mr. Gantz's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth?
True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person.
Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal.
Well, Mr. Wright. Everything going black again. It seems, at last, the time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Mr. Wright, do you admit it? You purposefully and illegally concealed this piece of cloth. I did not. Certainly, I refused to present evidence at one point. Aha! So the evidence is illegal. Objection! No, it isn't, Mr. Gantz. You're a mean one, Mr. Gantz. It's not that I didn't present evidence today. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't? There is certain procedures involved in presenting evidence. No, Aji! Don't listen to his lies! He's nothing but a coward! You can't let him!
There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not?
Very well. Let's settle this once and for all. Earlier you refused to present evidence. You prove that your conduct was not violation of the law and do so now.
The book.
Evidence law! Motherfucking evidence law! This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this?
I've
What's
never read this before.
For some reason I can imagine Jack Black playing Phoenix Wright. Motherfucking evidence law, bitches! Like Tenacious D. Like
Yeah.
the other guy from Tenacious D, Kyle, was like Edgeworth.
Yeah.
That'd be so weird. I've done my homework too, Chief. Page 9 had trouble. I looked in the back of the book for that. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this is merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. What is on the cover?
Chicken?
Hold on, actually, I'm curious. Wait, can I check the outside of the book? Oh, I can't look at the outside of the book. Wait, is that?
It's either a chicken or a rubber ducky.
Don't accidentally object.
That is. Yeah, it's a chicken at a desk. It's an old chicken at a desk.
Yeah.
It's like Edgeworth chicken.
Yeah. Checksworth.
Rule number 1.
I said rule number 2.
Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department.
I found this piece myself inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have a proof in the police department.
Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case and trial.
And here is a crux
The Horcrux.
of the matter. You see, at the time it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Sorry, but can you recall when was that picture presented? That was shown only a few moments ago. No.
He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless.
Ooh. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gantz.
You yourself confessed to a certain truth.
Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest? Oh, yes! Yes. No!
It was then that you approved this cloth
Oh.
as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth.
The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person who that could be. Damon Gantz! The killer was you! doing that.
I can imagine.
I knew. That was a crazy breakdown. Just obsessively clapping. I gotta loop that. Just like I did the freaking Von Karma. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I had to loop that. I knew I should have gotten rid of him. My hands are all sore. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years, he's been snooping around the department, drinking vodka, trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me.
Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty.
And you did devote him to the patrolman.
He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Star, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. Hey, you
If
lying.
the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth.
Took a freaking
Please,
sword.
you've got to help me.
Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit.
He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence.
Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden, he had to speak out. Ooh. What are you talking about, Goodman? Holy crap, who's that voice Goodman? You voice Goodman. What voice are you gonna give Goodman?
Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief?
He's like a gruff.
We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered.
I'm gonna stab you in the chest now. He told me to open up the evidence room and take it out.
It's not too late. I'll hand this to Marshall.
I'll hand this knife into your chest cavity. Well, to be honest, I was a little panicked, too. I had a bad feeling about it, but never knew it would come to this. That's when I saw it. The accursed knife. Don't get a picture of him stabbing him? Oh.
No.
I couldn't just pull it out. That's all. That's what I said to her last night. Giggity. Oh,
You
yeah,
would only-
Emma! I wasn't even thinking about that. That's really creepy now.
Oh yeah, what happened?
That's disturbing. Yeah. Like.
Okay, I guess the game
I
forgot
cou-
about that.
I couldn't just pull it out. That's what I told Emma last night.
Yeah,
Crying in the corner.
it's okay, Emma. I'll help you out
By
tonight.
violating you in different ways.
You would only increase the amount of blood, and you couldn't finish what you started.
Even so, the blood was just pouring out. Just everywhere. It was like someone got killed or something.
It was like a swimming pool.
Got swimming lately in blood, in the blood of my enemies. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I was wiping it up. I was worrying so much that on the fall, I didn't realize my mistake. Detective Gumshoe's bloody handprint. It used to be known as the crime computer. Well, I used to be known as the crime computer. But everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it.
Then you put the body in my car. I take that personally.
I'm sorry. We couldn't think of any other way to move the body. Because putting any other person's car had to be our car. Yours was prettier.
I suppose you're right.
We broke the trunk. But what's the big deal? I just broke your trunk. It's not like it's an expensive Ferrari. Oh. What's the big deal, really? It's a few $1,000s. You make that. You can sneeze and make $1,000 in a case.
The big deal is you're a corrupt cop. You potentially raped underage girl, and
Also,
you
he's a-
broke into
also,
his
he's a-
son's car.
Also, he's a Templar.
Oh yeah.
The Red Cross.
Yeah.
And you might be a Templar.
You put down a lot more. You pulled down a lot more than us detectives. What?
Ugh.
Ow.
That's not hurt.
Yes. What does that have to do with anything? You're horrible! How could you get Miss Sky involved in all of this? Well, she has much to lose as I did if the truth came out.
So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker.
I feel bad for having to do it. I couldn't just sit around and pick and choose what to take. Well, you left the jar fragments in there. Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator. Oh wait. I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. What did he do with the other evidence then? He said he took a bunch of it. I kept his evidence up my ass for 5 long years. From Pulp Fiction, Christopher Walken.
Oh, yeah.
I kept his watch up my ass for 5 whole years. Well, give me Christopher Walken voice, it works. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay.
Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that.
Tell me, Worthy, what are you doing in court?
Me?
Don't get all metaphorical on us, you're a freaking killer. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. This totally is like an anime, like video game thing. You know, we're just the same, you and I.
Let the hate flow through you.
I hope if he says that, holy crap. One day you'll understand. If you want to take them on alone, you'll figure out what's needed.